Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newbold and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah. Well, hello there, dummies, and welcome. Oh, this is so much better. To episode number 75 of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know from a few minutes ago, is Tim Jake the Snake Van Stratton. Alongside me is Rodney Newpel from his home office. Oh man, it's funny where for those who tuned in a few minutes ago to see whatever the hell that was, we deleted it from the history book, so you had to be there. There's ideally there's no internet trail for what just happened, but it's gone, and thank God for that. Rodney, we're back on familiar territory here for the stupidest sports show on earth. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, man, 11 minutes of our lives and their lives they will never get back. We tried and we failed, and no, but I appreciate everybody coming back here, and here we are, Stupid Sports Show, and a good show tonight, episode 75. So a nice one, and give away a jersey tonight. We'll do that here and I don't know, 20 minutes or so. See if anybody stays on the line with us tonight. Give one away via some trivia going on. So yeah, that's what's going on tonight.
So it's funny. I kind of made the executive decision to try to move the show over to a new platform. That didn't work. So then today I find out that a decision that somehow was made entirely by you and you alone, that we're giving away a jersey tonight. Yeah. I hope this does not come out of my salary. I hope that I don't have to do anything. I hope that I don't have to go to someone's house to present said jersey, because that's a whole thing. I expect to be paid for that as an appearance fee. But that's exciting. And so we're gonna do the trivia later on. But you are a proprietor of pretty much any jersey under the sun. So is it just like people get to choose their jersey, or are you just gonna give them one at random?
The winner will pick. I'll get with him or her and figure out what they want. But I was gonna say, you remember the radio days when we do like appearance? You had like appearance fees. Like I always thought, like who actually is paying to actually see me? Like they're actually paying for me to show up at this place. But anyways, no appearance fees. I actually don't think you need to do anything tonight. I'll take care of it. We'll do that in about 20 minutes or so.
I love hearing that. But anyway, we got a huge show to get to. Pretty big show. We have the Stanley Cup Game 6, which I'm pretty sure, Rodney, so there's 20 minutes left in regulation. And unless the Oilers have one more miracle under their sleeve, up their sleeve? Up their sleeve. Not under the sleeve, up their sleeve. The Ice Cats are going to go back to back. So are we declaring it right here? Are we bold enough to say that even though that there's still hockey to be played, that the Florida Panthers will be hoisting Lord Stanley's Cup in just a few minutes?
Yeah, it'll be about the time we get off here, maybe. I don't know, 20 minutes of a hockey game probably going to take more than 45 minutes. But I will guarantee that the Florida Panthers win the Stanley Cup final. They will not blow a 3-goal lead in the final 20 minutes of the game. And Edmonton will become the runner-up for back-to-back years. And, Connor McDavid, great career, great player, but still doesn't have one. Going to have that asterisk next to him.
Are we going to do this with McDavid, though, for real? Do you want to have that conversation of the can't win the big one? So like NBA ring culture has just poisoned the mind of 75% of basketball fans, right?
Yeah.
It's like, he's good, but is he really that good because he hasn't won anything? Baseball doesn't have that issue because we know it's a team sport. Hockey is that weird in between, though, because hockey, yes, it's a team sport, but generally speaking, if you want to be considered an all-time great in that sport, you have a championship. And if Sidney Crosby was drafted in 2003, won his first cup in 2009. McDavid, kind of the best prospect since then, drafted in 2015, is now going to be at 25 with no cups. So, yeah, Yeah, where do you stand on that? The whole like, oh, let's have a discussion about is he really an all-time great? Because I would say yes, he is. But I don't think I'm ready for the cup conversation, at least now. And but in a few years,
Yeah.
if he's 32, 33 years old, he's not quite in the prime of his career anymore, and then he still doesn't have one, then I'm like, we need to have that talk.
Yeah, no, I'm not quite there either, and I don't get overly bogged down by it. I see his dominance on the ice most nights and know that he is one of the all time greats. And sometimes it just that's the way it is. And I'm not really comparing like a Charles Barkley, but like Charles Barkley was a great player, never won one. I still think of him as in my era of the '80s, like a really, 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 really good player. I think I'll think of Connor McDavid as a great player despite not winning one. It's such a team. Like hockey is such a team game, right? Like you're just gonna have a hard time. I mean, he's got good players. Like Leon Draisaitl is going to go down as a really, really good player, if not great player as well. But I'm just not there. I mean, I mostly brought that up in jest because that's what the sports media is talking about. They're going to talk about it tomorrow, although like First Take and all those don't talk hockey anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say, will they? Because I'm pretty sure the lead story on Get Up and First Take these days is what's Dak Prescott's legacy.
Well, tomorrow it's going to be why did they push Caitlin Clark down, and what did she do to return the favor? And a lot of WNBA talk, and that's great for that league and great for the development. But like that's going to be lead stories tomorrow, and then they'll get into football and things like that. But yeah, no, it's I'm not there with McDavid. Again, let's talk 5 years from now and kind of see where we're at.
That's actually a great topic, Rodney, and I wish we would have discussed this earlier. Okay, so you are the executive producer of First Take. You get to choose the topics that Stephen A and his A team will discuss tomorrow. It's a Mad Dog Wednesday, by the way, so keep that in mind. So, what's the order that you would put the topics? Now, you're doing this as an ESPN shill. You're not doing this as Rodney Newpel. Okay, so what are you leading the show with, and where do the Panthers fall on that list?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think they're probably right. I think I got to talk Caitlin Clark's thing going on tonight. The whole flagrant foul, the technical, the stuff after, Sophie Cunningham got into it. I think you're going to lead off with that, and then you're going to go into Tyrese Halliburton with his injury and what does it mean? By that point, we've had 2 commercial breaks, and then we're going to something that went on in mini camp that we didn't talk about on Monday or Tuesday. Mini camps, OTAs are going on. Travis Kelce's in France. We might even bring that up. That why is he in France? He should probably be back in Kansas City. Then maybe we'll bring up hockey at the end of the first hour.
I think that sounds great.
And then you just nailed it. And then the second hour, you just repeat. You repeat it. I mean, that's really what goes on. You repeat it, and you get back to Caitlin Clark, and your hour show is about 4 minutes of hockey.
Yeah, I mean, the series isn't on ESPN this year. It's a back-to-back champ. You don't have it's not going to be a discussion. And when the discussion does happen, it's not going to be this Panthers team, they were so great. They were so excellent, which they are. They are. It's going to be Connor McDavid. Let's have that discussion. Let's have that talk. Like that would be the angle that they would go. And it's not fair, but that's just what it's going to be. But like, let's be, as the stupidest sports show, let's be the smart ones for a change. And let's acknowledge that the Panthers are really damn good. And that this is a back-to-back champ. I'm going to call it. There's 14 minutes left. I'm calling it. It's done. You heard it here first. The Panthers are going to be a back-to-back champ. They've won the East 3 years in a row. They have an exceptional core of Barkov, of Reinhardt, of Kachuk. A couple guys like Ekblad's going to be a free agent, but like they got Bob in net long-term. This is one of the more surprising borderline dynasties that we've seen in hockey. Just like the Florida Panthers were a team that no one thought anything of for its entire history. And then about 4 years ago, I should say, they won the President's Cup. They traded their all-time leading point scorer for Matthew Tkachuk. And ever since then, they've been to 3 straight Stanley Cups, and they've won 2 of them. It's insane. Yeah. It's insane, like the bold moves that they made and how they've paid off now.
Yeah, you brought up in our group chat earlier, you didn't have on your bingo card that South Florida was going to take over the hockey world with the Lightning, doing their work, and now the Panthers taking over. So, no, I'm with you. This is a dominant run for Florida. It wasn't just you, but it was a lot of people saying that's a lot of hockey. It's a lot of hockey. It's a lot of hockey. They're going to run into too much hockey, but they just continue to get it done. And no, it's impressive. It's impressive. And if this was an NFL franchise, if this was an NBA franchise, there would be a lot, and I mean a lot of discussion about how the dynasty, are they, already the back-to-back, are they going to win 3 straight? And are they? That's the question now. Can Florida, are they the favorites next year? Probably, right? You mentioned the names that come back.
No, I was going to say, like last year after they won the cup against Edmonton.
Yeah.
Edmonton was immediately the favorite to win the cup. I would be very interested to see if the odds makers make the same call again going into next season. But it's possible. And to your point, though, yeah, you're absolutely right. If the Panthers' success was in another sport, of course, like NBA, NFL, absolutely, we're having that discussion. I mean, it's very similar to like what the Chiefs have done the last few years, right? And the Kansas City Chiefs, a pretty historic franchise, but the Chiefs weren't at the same level as the Cowboys and the Steelers and the Packers and the Niners in terms of those types of legacy franchises. But yet the Chiefs rose there because of their success. But like the Panthers were at the bottom rung of the NHL.
Right.
Like if this wasn't the Panthers, but instead it was the Maple Leafs, if it was the New York Rangers, then it is leading Sports Center. Then it is that type of discussion of a dynasty. It's really easy to have that talk, but it's Florida Panthers. It's a team at Sunrise that I bet a lot of hockey fans still don't know where the Panthers actually play in Florida.
Right.
And yet they're going to be your cup champs again.
Yeah. Dan brings up a good point. Odds will tell us the bookies' thoughts on whether Sam Bennett is leaving. If they're favorites again, he's staying. Yeah, no, I would agree with that. There's obviously that's going to determine what goes on this off season for Florida. I would guess he stays, right? You're going to win 2 in a row. You're not going anywhere, are you?
I'm going to make another declaration. My second declaration of the show already. Sam Bennett will stay in Florida. He will make at least $8 million a year. Long-term deal. He is perfect for them. They are perfect for him. And it's a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Now, what are the Conn Smythe odds, by the way? The live Conn Smythe odds, are those currently available to bet on DraftKings or wherever, or is it too late? Because they're
probably too late.
Sam Bennett, I believe, is the playoff leader in goals, but I mean Brad Marchand is at a hell of a series. So I think it's got to be one of those two, no?
Yeah, I don't see the live odds for it. I'm guessing they've probably pulled that off at this point.
I see it. Yep. I see it. So, yeah, on DraftKings right now, Conn Smythe Trophy, Sam Bennett is minus 300. And then Brad Marchand is plus 320. And then it is a long gap to anyone else. You got Bobrovsky at plus 3,500, and then Reinhart, McDavid, Draisaitl. It's funny, if the Oilers, if you think the Oilers are going to score 3 goals in 10 minutes and somehow win this game with another miraculous comeback and force a game 7 and then win game 7, maybe throw a few dollars here on Leon Draisaitl to win. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we've spent money on worse, but I don't think so. No goals in the first 50 minutes. I don't think they're going to get 3 in the last 10. But No,
$5 to win $1,500.
I mean
People,
that's fun. That's
just
fun, but it's
cup
not
of
gonna
coffee.
happen. Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. But cup of coffee.
Dan says Sam Bennett is the Conn Smythe. Brad Marchand is the People's Conn Smythe winner. Is the league's okay? So Sam Bennett, league's Conn Smythe. Brad Marchand, People's Conn Smythe. I mean Marchand. I've never been a big fan of him, but he has been unbelievably good for Florida. And I mean, without him, they probably struggle to win a couple of these series.
It's kind of funny you just said that because I was about to make a very shameful confession that I've always liked Brad Marchand.
Yeah.
Like well, you know what it is? It's the years of watching Corey Perry in Anaheim, and you kind of endear yourself to the guy who's just a total snake, who's just plays so dirty and who everyone despises, but like he's your rat, right? Like so who am I then to judge Boston all those years for having their rat and Brad Marchand? I was like, you know what? I kind of dig it. And like the guy, yeah, he's kind of an asshole, like on the ice, but there's no reason to think off the ice that he isn't anything other than a decent guy. So I've always sort of liked him. I get it, but I get it. And like, look at his face. Just look at his face. I understand why people don't like him just because of his face alone. Totally get it. But I was like, you know what? I even if he wasn't on my team, I kind of respect him a little bit.
Mine probably comes from the Blues Bruins Stanley Cup series, that he was kind of a pest there in that point. But I mean he's had a nice career, and you got to feel excited for him to leave and then go get a cup somewhere else. So congrats to him. But anyways, shall we move on to NBA? We spent some time talking hockey. Let's go to the NBA here. They are heading to Indiana for Game 6. Will we head to a Game 7? I say no. Tyrese Halliburton is not healthy. Oklahoma City gets it done tomorrow night, with Thursday night in Indy. Your thoughts?
Oklahoma City Thunder will win the NBA championship on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about Tyrese Halliburton for a second. You know, the whole thing that, it's the NBA Finals. You got to lay it all on the line. You got to push through. I will be very, very, very disappointed if the Pacers play Tyrese Halliburton on Thursday. He has a strained calf.
Yeah.
Right? So he aggravated it in the first quarter of the game. I think that it's the same injury that he had previously. So like it's something that has come up a couple times, right? It clearly affected him. Your backup situation with TJ McConnell, I think, is one of the better backup situations in the entire NBA. We know from our days of playing NBA DFS, like TJ McConnell isn't a scrub. If you give him minutes, he can keep things moving. And the Pacers have really benefited this series from McConnell and their depth guys. They can still be competitive with McConnell on the floor. They can. They haven't. It hasn't been a series where the Pacers needed Tyrese Halliburton to score 35 a night for them. He hasn't, because they got so much other. So I can't help but feel like if they try to force Halliburton out there on the court, he already has a calf situation. What happens if, God forbid, something happens that's severe to the point now where Tyrese Halliburton joins Jason Tatum and is out for the entire 25-26 season? And there goes any chance that the Pacers have of repeating. Like that, to me, is even though you're facing elimination, it just doesn't feel worth it, especially when you look at the Eastern Conference and you see, okay, Cleveland might have to get rid of some guys. Boston's going to have a transition year. Like Indiana should be thinking also about next year. And if I sound crazy, tell me I sound crazy, because I acknowledge that. Like, they're in the NBA Finals and their backs are against the wall. I'm very worried that not only are they going to lose this finals, but they're also going to lose Halliburton long term. And you have to think about his long term health and the long term health of your franchise too.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know if you're going to get back in that situation, even with him being healthy. You are 2 games away.
Sure.
You're right. McConnell does give them an opportunity, and he probably gives them a better opportunity than a hurt Halliburton. So yeah, you're probably right there, but like all logic says, if he can go, he's got to go, right? Like you can't worry about an injury for next year. Um, I would be awfully. I would say it'd have to be a pretty serious injury if he's not going to play tomorrow, Thursday, right? Like it better be pretty serious.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow morning. He's getting he did receive the MRI today to determine the severity of the injury. But like they could always just be like, it's fine. He's gonna test it in warmups, see if he could play through it. But it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard, and I'm sure he wants to play. I'm sure that the team wants him to play. It will be sickening if something happens to him if he tries to gut it out. How about this? This is a good compromise. You start him, but the second where he's like, all right, something's off, before it gets really bad, you just pull him. You just say, all right, that's it. You tried. And like Rick Carlisle, credit to him, in the fourth quarter of game 5, like Halliburton was available, but he was rolling on with McConnell. He was relying on McConnell, and they were playing well.
Only thing I'll say to that is, did Jason Tatum ever be like, oh man, I don't know, my Achilles doesn't feel real good, I probably should come out, before he actually tore it or ruptured it?
Yeah.
So I mean, we could say that about Halliburton. Don't get fully injured, but like one wrong turn, that thing could be done. So that's going to be difficult to do too. I mean, he could always warm up. He could always, pretend he's going, because it's not like the NBA. It's not like it's NFL where you got to pull somebody off a practice roster or whatever. Like you have your guys. Like it's just next man up. Like you don't need to. It's not the starting pitcher for the next day. You don't got to call somebody up. So he could. You don't even have to announce that he's not going to play, right? Yeah. Like why do you have to announce that he's not going to play? He's like, okay, he's questionable. He's limited. He's going to warm up, and they could know. I don't know. I think there's a lot of ways around that.
Yeah, but like, don't they at some point have to say whether he's active or well, I could see that. I could see a scenario where they say he's quote unquote available to play, but might not actually play.
Yeah, no, and that's what I think they should do. Why should Indiana have to declare tomorrow or Thursday if he's going to play or not? And actually, if you're Indiana, like you can kind of play the mind. You're not playing the mind games, but you certainly could. And if you're Oklahoma City, you probably just need to ignore it, because you don't need to change your game plan. You don't really necessarily have to change your game plan. You still need to go out there. I mean, shoot, if you get 40 points out of Jalen Williams, you're going to win again, right? Like, if I'm Oklahoma City, I am not concerned. I am not changing any scouting reports, any game plans. We already know these guys. Like we played them 5 in a row. Like we know this other team. We don't have to change anything whether he plays or not. So I think if you're the Pacers, you just say, yeah, he's available. And again, like why does it matter if he's playing or? I mean, you don't have to change your roster. So it'll be interesting to see.
What's the whole reason that teams have to say so-and-so is active or not? Like, is it just for, and Dan giving us the update. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the $5 spent on Leon Draisaitl to win the Conn Smythe is not going to hit. That cup of coffee was not worth it.
See you $5.
See ya Oilers. I didn't bet it though, in case you're wondering. But no, what I was saying before is like, is it purely just for betting reasons why we have to announce so-and-so is hurt, so-and-so is active, here are the lineups?
Probably.
Like at this point, is that why?
I mean, yeah, I would think that's long. What is it? What do they call it? The what's the word for it? I mean, integrity. For the integrity, you're developing, you're promoting all of these betting sites, which by the way are going to start charging me 50 cents a bet here starting September 1st.
Yeah, that's
so dumb.
disgusting.
It's so disgusting. It's so embarrassing and ridiculous. But anyways, yeah, I think their words are integrity. You know, if we're going to promote DraftKings, we've got to give them the best opportunity to know whether the guys are playing or not. If I'm the Pacers, I say, yeah, he's playing. He's going to warms up. Maybe you start him and then you pull him. That's not anything wrong with that. He got hurt. Period.
So I just so to wrap that thought up, if he doesn't play, I will not be like, oh, what are you doing? You should have played the NBA Finals. I will not blame him. I will not blame the team. That's basically like what I'm trying to say. Okay. I'm trying to be the big man. I'm going to be the minority in that one, but that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So, Rodney,
let's move to golf, right?
Do you want to do golf or do you want to do jersey giveaway?
Go ahead. Let's do our jersey giveaway right now. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Thanks for the idea.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. All right. So here's what's happening. We're going to use the comment section. And right now, Dan's our leader because he's used the comment section more than anybody else so far. So you got to use the comment section for this. It's a 2-part answer. You need to give me both parts correctly of this answer. We are going to do the question, and the category is College Baseball World Series.
Oh.
College Baseball World Series.
Oh.
It's going on right now. Did you know it's going on right
now? Very, very vaguely.
Part 1 of the trivia question. What college baseball program has the most national championships? Part 2 of the question is, who is the defending college baseball champion? So the 2024 champion. So 2 parts. Who has the most college baseball championships in the history of the college baseball playoffs? And who was the 2024 champion? Give me those 2 answers and you will be a jersey winner.
Google it. Yeah, hurry.
For sure. You definitely can for sure Google it. There's no rules against that. Just got to be the quickest to it. And Dan's our early favorite. He's minus 200 in the betting favorite tonight for that one.
They've taken the odds off the board as far as who's going to win this trivia. Considering, hold on, we got someone. We got Tyler coming in.
Yeah, but that's one. Oh, we got a winner.
Oh my God. Oh,
we got a winner.
Dan.
Minus 200 for Dan did not win. USC has the most titles with 12.
Oh my God.
But the Trojans have not won it since 1998, but they have 12. Oh, but Dan, you came in too late because Tyler also got the Tennessee Volunteers.
Wow.
Are the defending champions.
What an upset.
A minute later, Dan came in second place, Southern California. It was because he typed out Southern California. If you just
well, like that's so pretentious. Like, okay, University of South Carolina still as USC, but like if you say USC, we all know who USC is. So
USC. Yeah, Tyler, you're our winner. Congratulations to Tyler. So USC has 12 titles to LSU's 7, and Tennessee was our winner last year. After that, it's Texas, Arizona State, Arizona, Miami, Cal State, Fullerton. All have 4 or more. Tyler, I'll get with you and get your jersey winner. I know Tyler's got a little guy. He may choose to donate his jersey, or maybe he wants to wear his own jersey. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll get with you, Tyler. Congrats on the win, Dan. Good luck next time. Good luck next time, buddy.
That was stunning. I cannot believe that.
I had him at minus 200. I had him at minus 200 to win this sucker. Did not do it. Tyler snuck in. Like, we didn't even know Tyler was here. He's quiet in the background. He's been listening to us.
Tyler's waiting.
Actually, Tyler needs to stay tuned here because he can tell us maybe a little bit about JJ Spawn. Tyler's a golf guy. JJ Spawn. What do you know, Tim, about JJ Spawn?
I had heard the name JJ Spawn. This isn't someone who was totally under the radar for me. Did I bet JJ Spawn at 120 to 1 or 150 to 1 or whatever he was going into the tournament? No, I did not. I wish I could say that. We have a running joke where it's like, oh, almost played JJ Spawn, went John Rahm instead.
Yeah.
It's yeah, and that's kind of where I was at. Like we were talking about Rahm and Scheffler and all of these guys, and meanwhile, the leaderboard going into Sunday was JJ Spawn and Sam Burns. Robert McIntyre had a great Sunday and almost won the thing. You had Carlos Ortiz. So a lot of guys who like PGA Tour fans know, but they're not the heavy hitters. Which it's funny, Rodney. I've ranted about this a few different times, how I love when majors have the big names and I want the big names to win. But I was kind of enjoying the slop on Sunday where it was like 6 guys, none of whom had ever won a major. They weren't big names, and they were all like sitting 1 over. There was one point where there was 5 guys that were all at 1 over, all tied for first. And I was like, you know what, man? This kind of rules.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
Like it was raining. There was a delay. You had Sam Burns hitting his ball out of a puddle that we can all agree he absolutely no way they should have allowed him to, or they should have forced him to hit from that spot. That basically tanked his round. I mean, it was great, man, but it was all capitalized. But at the very end, there was 2 shots that JJ Spawn hit. There was his drive on 17, that short drivable 17, unbelievable shot on that par 4. And then the putt, the 64-foot putt to walk it off to finish 1 under on hole 18. Like that was amazing. That was an amazing finish. And I don't know what the ratings were. I'm sure that people were like, oh, the ratings on Sunday were the lowest for U.S. Opens and blah blah. Like I don't care, man. You missed a great, exciting round of golf where we literally had no idea who was going to win until the very, very end. And that's all you want for a major.
Yeah, no. So a couple guys. Yeah, you mentioned the Sam Burns. I do feel bad for him. It just snowballed big time on him. He did not play well, obviously. And then I kind of feel for Bobby Mack a little bit because but I do give him credit because he was very. I wasn't necessarily happy, but he was kind of genuinely happy that JJ Spot. He's like, "Good, great shot. That's amazing."
He wasn't happy. No, he wasn't happy.
No,
he wasn't happy. He acted good. No, he had a good face for it. He had a good, whatever. But no, he wasn't happy. Come on.
No, but yes, I mean, at least he showed respect for another fellow golfer that made just a hell of a shot. But I feel a little bad for him because you can see when he first went into that clubhouse and you saw him looking up at the screen and everything was unraveling for the other guys. And I'm sure in his head he was like, "Oh my God, I got a really good chance here." And then they went on and told him, "Listen, you might still tie or win this. If you tie, you're going to go tomorrow," which I'm sure brought on more emotions for him. And then my other moment was we had an hour to go and Scotty Scheffler and John Rahm somehow were still in the mix, right? Because everything was going backwards. Like these guys were bogeying. It went from -3. Okay, now it's even. Okay, now it's +1. And those guys were at 3 and 4 over, and you're thinking, okay, you probably don't want Rahm or Scotty to be in that playoff. But they didn't. Scotty was fine. It's a hard course, man. He played pretty well. And John Rahm really just had one. That's who I bet. Really just had one bad day.
Yeah. Both those guys, it felt like neither of them really were going to win. At least that's how I felt. I know people are like, oh, look out for Scotty, but I didn't get that sense that either of them were going to win, and yet they finished 7th. They Scotty Scheffler had probably his worst performance in a major in the last 3 years, and he finished 7th.
Yeah, no, he was good. Jordan Spieth, I think, finished top 20. He was around there. Justin Thomas was absolutely horrendous.
Terrible.
Rory was kind of a jackass all weekend, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but Rory still finished 19th. He shot 3 under on Sunday. So after he finished his tantrum, he was like, oh, okay, yeah, top 20. I'll take that. Yeah, Spieth, Reed, Morikawa, Jason Day were all tied for 23rd at 8 over.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, Rory was just grumpy with the media. And I think at one point he said, I feel like I have the right to do anything I want. And, he's kind of come across as kind of, I mean, this has been Rory's mantra for years. Like, he hasn't necessarily been the nicest guy on the tour. And I'm kind of amazed because he continues to talk about how he can't get motivated. We'll see if he can get motivated for his event here coming up in a couple weeks.
I saw the quote where he's like, if I can't get motivated for, the Open Championship in my home country, then I don't know what's left. Like, do you think that there's any chance that he just takes a year off? Or I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him right now. It's very strange.
Yeah, Tyler mentioned something's going on with off the course. Yeah, I mean, I think hasn't there been talk of a pending divorce and stuff like that? Like, I don't necessarily need to get into people's personal lives here necessarily. We've never really done a whole lot of that. I don't really want to start now, but I know there's been talk about that. And yes, I'm sure, Tyler, there are things going on there. But yeah, to your point, Tim, I mean, I even thought of the R word. Like, is he going to retire?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, there's a lot of money to give up. We see this as just go play golf, but it is his job.
Yeah,
he could just go play golf and not make it his job and probably be a lot happier.
Yeah, I don't think it's a retirement. I think it's what Tiger does, and Tiger was kind of forced to do this based on the injuries, but it's, hey, I'm just going to take a step back and sort of just be more particular about where I play and just focus on the majors and things like that. And maybe Rory wants to do that for a little while. I don't know. There's something going on though.
So you're saying join Live?
One of the qualifications for Live is to just have a really bad attitude when you're playing golf. So I think perhaps this last weekend was his audition.
And so sometimes play and sometimes not, right? And then he gets a day off each weekend more than he had. I don't know.
Although Live, despite playing fewer events than the PGA Tour, Live requires you to play all of their events. So they have 12 tournaments, 14. I don't know what the amount is.
Yeah,
but they have to play all of them.
He is not the right political party to play on Live.
What party is that? Just like the douchebag party? Is that it?
5-1 final. Congrats to the Ice Cats. They are your Stanley Cup champions.
And the under at 6. So that's the lowest scoring game of the Stanley Cup final. Had 6 goals in it.
Yeah. And Tyler says he hates Live. Yeah, and I knew that. He's not going to Live, but I mostly was talking about golf when you want. And I know you're right, Tim. They do have a requirement to play in their events, but I feel like it is more of a play when you want going to Live. Anyways, but yeah. So your point, yes, the first under, it was a high-scoring series. I mean, this was 6 goals, and 3 of them came in the last, 5 minutes there. 2 of them empty net, and then the Oilers got one to avoid a shutout. So congrats to them. But the Ice Cats, that's my pick. You lost that one.
I did. And that hurts more than anything. That hurts by far and away more than all of my feelings about McDavid and talking about his legacy and all that. It's just the idea of me being wrong. It sucks. It hurts, and I'm sad.
Yeah.
But then I remind myself that I didn't pick Knicks versus Timberwolves in the NBA Finals. It makes me feel a whole lot better.
That was me.
We know who it was.
Yeah. About as good as picking the Chargers back-to-back years to win the Super Bowl with Brandon Staley as their head coach.
Yeah. Bravo. That's okay. Which is as good as picking the Cincinnati Bengals to win the AFC.
So this is where we need the old software that we started this show with, the first 11 minutes, where we can have the sounds that went.
Yeah.
Because that was cool, but it didn't work.
Man, we had sound effects. There was applause. There was little sounders for when we would go to each slide and go woof. Like, it was a real production. And the only problem is no one could see it or hear it, and the connection was bad and everything broke.
Well,
Other
the
than
connection
that, though, I had very high hopes.
the connection was terrible. Like you were super blurry. I don't know what I was from your side, but you
Well,
were super
I did
blurry.
do a blur feature. I did one of those fancy blur features where like my background was a slight blur, yet I remained in focus. It's real high end production stuff.
Yeah.
This is the
Anyway,
75th episode of our show. We need to keep advancing.
so
Yet here we are.
we're about ready for Mount Rushmore 75. I do have to share this real quick. This
Yeah.
is awesome that we're doing this right now because I mean, you know my family. I have two girls and obviously my wife. They are currently on Mount Rushmore right now. I did not go. We didn't talk about this. Like it didn't work. I'm with my son. It didn't work for me to go. But they are literally, if you look at their location, I know you can't see that on there, but they are out Mount Rushmore right now. This is cool. We're talking Mount Rushmore while they're at Mount Rushmore.
That is cool. Have you been to Mount Rushmore?
Never. And I don't know as if I'll ever have a chance now. Okay.
Save.
Carly and the girls aren't going to hear this because they don't listen to the show.
Not worth it.
My daughter is doing competitive tumbling today, tomorrow, and Thursday. I would love to see her compete. I hate that I'm missing that, but I did not miss that it took them about a day and a half to drive there because my wife loves to stop at random places, and I did, and I just don't think I would enjoy it all that much. I just don't. I kept telling the girls, I'm like, listen, there's 4 dead presidents. Their faces are on a mountain. You're going to see it, and then you're going to be like, okay, we're now where? But it looks like on their location, they are walking near Mount Rushmore National Memorial right now.
Yeah. Where they have you, like they have the whole sort of setup where you walk in, then you're able to see it. You're too far away to where it looks so much smaller than you think it does.
Yeah.
So like you're not close enough to really appreciate the scale of it. And you're exactly right. How long is one supposed to look at the mountain before you're just like, all right, what now? Like they're not gonna move positions every couple minutes. It'd be great if suddenly they decided to do a little shuffle thing, or perhaps it's like in between innings where you put the baseball under the helmet and then the helmets all move around. You got to find like if they put a baseball behind one of the 4 presidents and then they all moved around the mountain and everyone was like, oh, it's the number two. It's behind Teddy. Well, then I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
But until then, I think you see it in a picture and you're good. You're good. Thank you.
I think it would be cool if it, because of all the technology we have here in 2025, if like you had every single president that's ever lived and it like rotated it, like every 5 minutes the faces rotated. So you got 4 and then you got 4 different ones and then you got 4 different ones and then you got 4 different ones. I told I actually had my youngest believing me. I was like, hey, when you go out there, they're building a 5th one. They're building a 5th president on Mount Rushmore. It's just this great big orange blob. Yeah. All right. We'll stop there. Anyways, she believed me for a little bit.
Yeah.
We probably should stop there, right?
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
You woke monster. All right. Actually, honestly, I was gonna say I think the Mount Rushmore's greatest contribution is giving sports media the idea to do Mount Rushmores of anything, including what we've been doing now for probably our last 50-ish shows or so. The Mount Rushmore of players who wore number 75. So I can give you one right off the bat, Rodney, from the baseball world. I think this is a stone cold lock. Barry Zito.
Yeah.
A Cy Young
winner.
One.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
I can give you one from the football world that I think is going to be a lock.
Ooh, hit me.
Howie Long?
Howie Long's a really good. You know what? It's funny enough. That is not who I thought you were going to say for the NFL at 75, but I think Howie Long has to be on there.
I believe Mean Joe Green was also 75. I'm trying to confirm that now.
That's the one that I was thinking.
Yeah.
Mean Joe Green. Couple other NFL ones just to make our lives very complicated. We have Vince Wilfork, the longtime defensive tackle, New England Patriots. We have Deacon Jones. Think he was a former Los Angeles Ram, Hall of Fame defensive
Yeah.
end.
Very good. Yeah.
Jonathan Ogden, Hall of Fame tackle, Baltimore Ravens. So this is a very, very strong number here.
Yeah,
So
and let me
Joe
throw
Green,
one.
Deacon, Joe. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me throw one on the National Hockey League that I don't truly think belongs, but locally, and I know both of our hockey listeners, Tyler and Dan, might agree to this.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Reeves.
Yeah, Peoria Riverman legend, Ryan Reeves.
I know Tyler, who goes to a lot of hockey games, and he goes to a lot of Riverman games, would probably agree with this one. Ryan Reeves, 75. So Barry Zito, Howie Long, Mean Joe, and what's
and Ryan
our fourth?
Reeves, obviously.
I mean, if we wanted to go, if Rodney says Ryan Reeves, yeah, he did.
I do love I love the idea of Ryan Reeves having some sort of recognition. Perhaps he can be the tour guide for people who come to visit the Mount Rushmore of 75s to lead the tourists to the rocks to see the actual 75s. It's a very important role. He's still part of the site. He's just not on the mountain.
Yeah.
I think that is the Ryan Reeves role of 75 that I'm comfortable with.
So Zito, Mean Joe.
So Zito, yes. Mean Joe, yes. Howie Long, yes. So to me, it comes down to Deacon Jones, Jonathan Ogden, or Vince Wilfork for that final spot. You just got a bunch of big guys. I would love to see them all just fight it out for that fourth spot. I could really go either way here, man.
Yeah.
It's tough because like Deacon Jones is well before both of our times.
Uh-huh.
Jonathan Ogden was kind of like right in the middle of our times. Like Vince Wilfork was a little bit later on.
Yeah, but how many Super Bowls did Wilfork win? He was with Brady, right?
Yeah, so Vince Wilfork, I like where you're going with this. So Vince Wilfork actually only won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And he's not a Hall of Famer yet. Not a Hall of Famer. 5 Pro Bowls, 1-time All-Pro, 2-time Super Bowl champ. You have Jonathan Ogden, who is a Hall of Famer, who has 11 Pro Bowls, 4-time All-Pro, and is a Super Bowl champ. And then Deacon Jones, who's a Hall of Famer, 8-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro, but no Super Bowls. So based on the accolades, it might be Jonathan Ogden. But is that really the most important thing? I don't know.
Yeah, it's difficult. I don't have a definitive way one way or the other. I love our 3, and I could go either way here. Maybe it's a 3-headed plaque, but we got to get the fourth. We got to get the 4th head on there. So I don't know. Where do you want it? What do you want to do here?
I'm gonna say Jonathan Ogden. I'm gonna give it to Jonathan Ogden. Yeah. Oggs.
Fair enough. Yeah. Jonathan Ogden it is. Sorry, Vince. Sorry, Deacon.
Sorry.
I mean, Deacon, we could very easily just say, Deacon, man, you needed to win a Super Bowl. But then old Vince comes over and is like, well, I won 2. And then
but hey, buddy, get a gold jacket, right? Like that's what I would say to Vince then. Yeah. Listen, the fact that we are sitting here at number 75 and we're having these really difficult conversations about who to put up on the mountain, that's great. That shows that the numbers that we're talking about have vastly improved. Because 5 weeks ago, when we were doing this for number 64, we were wanting to pull our hair out. We wanted to cancel the segment and probably the show. So I think we've come a long way there. So I'm not going to be upset that we're sitting here straining about Deacon Jones and whoever else. I think that we're finally on the upswing with these Mount Rushmores. So I'm
No,
happy.
that's a good
I'm
one.
happy.
This is a good one. Yeah, and then so Dan brings up a question. We don't need to talk anymore Mount Rushmore, but he's got a great question. Is Mount Rushmore a team award or an individual award?
Yes.
Yeah, you're so right. It's a mixture. Hey, sign up for our Substack, even though we are behind. I am behind in June. One of the first months I've been behind, several units behind. I need to catch back up. I've got another 13 days to get back into it. I don't know. Like right now, it's going to be MLB and WNBA, MLB and WNBA. Like that's where we're at. And I don't know. I've kind of taken a little bit of hit. Hopefully to get back on it. But sign up with football coming up. Make sure you're on that. Been sharing a few articles here and there as well. So make sure you sign up for Substack. Go to Substack. Go to Stupid Sports Show and get signed up for that. Share it with somebody and get them signed up as well. Follow us on Twitter. No W on the end. That's probably where you saw our first 11-minute show. That was miserable, and we came back here and salvaged it. Actually, a pretty good show, 51 minutes worth of the show tonight. And that should about do it for tonight.
Yeah, I realized it was short. It feels like we've been doing the show for 3 hours because that's how much stress those first few minutes gave me. So let's see, third show of the week on Friday. See, Dan gets it. Yeah, I need to make sure that is forever deleted. It's gone.
I think I got them all. I went to all of the Twitter. I went to all the Facebook. I went to whatever else. I think it's gone. It didn't even happen.
Right.
We just started a little bit late.
Go with that. All right. Let's get out of here. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers, the Ice Cats, back-to-back Stanley Cup champs. And when we're back Friday morning, 8 a.m., could be talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder, their first championship since moving to Oklahoma City, or we could be talking about a Game 7. We both think that the Thunder are going to get it done in 6, but the Pacers do a really good job of pacering.
Always.
And you should know what that means. The Pacers just like to pacer. Just muted myself. Did I mute myself? That's good. Great start.
You're good now.
All right. Yep. All right. Well, let's get out of here. This was a fun show. I need to go reconsider some of my life choices. But for Rodney Newpel, this is Tim Jake the Snake Van Stratton signing off for another edition of the stupidest sports show on earth. See you guys. Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpel and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.